The season is over here at Wild Wind Sailing Holidays Beach Club and Resort. So I thought this would be an ideal time to have a look at everything that we've achieved this summer. Let's get in. Okay, so this summer, I believe that I've made something like 100 videos here on Joyrider TV. These have been covering many different fields, and we've started a few different series this year on Joyrider TV. So what have we done? I'm actually going to read this from a list. So we started off back in April with some setup videos from how we went about unpacking the boats, building the boats, everything to get Wild Wind ready for the summer. As part of this, we did go through some Hobie 16 assembly videos. That was both assembling the platform, putting on the trampoline, and then that took us on to re-rigging the Hobie 16 mast with some fresh rigging. It's a good idea to change your rigging, I'd say once every 3 years, regardless of how often you're using your boat. Because even if you're not using your boat, unless the mast is stored in a humidity controlled environment, the rigging will be degrading. We also looked at re-rigging the FX1 mast, which would be the same for any F18 or double trapeze boat with spreaders. Very good. We did the tornado platform building as well. How the tornado gets assembled. Quite interesting, I think you'll find, if you haven't watched that yet. Also, we did the assembly. This was a curveball of the Laser XD kicker. Very technical. Only did that because I had to make 15 of them, so I felt I was getting pretty good at it by the end, which made it valid for me to make that video. Yes. And then continuing from there, I think this is not in order of when I made the videos. I've just put the videos into little groups of different types. So then there was like checking your boat video. So firstly, what you should look for when you're buying a used Hobie 16, 14 or anything similar. I'd like to point out at this stage on that video, I did fail to mention check the underside of the hull for damage there. I'm just mentioning that now. So if you go and check that out, you'll know to check the underside. Then pre-season checks. So if you've just dug your boat out of your loft after the winter and you're putting it together, things to check at the start of the season. And then also pre-sail checks. So every time you go out, what you should be looking at on your boat before you head out on the water. Okay, then we went into some maintenance areas. So when to service your rudders. The servicing your rudders video that I made probably about, it's one of the earlier ones that I did, maybe 8, maybe 9 years ago, is still absolute. I watched it yesterday and it is still absolutely valid. It is exactly what you need to do to get the play out of your rudder system. So check back to that video. Just type in the YouTube or Google search bar, service your Hobie rudders, and there I'll be. Then how to fix your heavy steering. Fixing your heavy steering is mostly down to back to that service your Hobie rudders video. Rudder alignment, first time I've mentioned that, we went through that. And then we did a bit of information about tiller arms and connecting bars. Very interesting indeed. At this point, I'd just like to say, if you're not yet subscribed to Joyrider TV, then hit the subscribe button, because that way you'll know when more stuff is coming, especially now that I'm in the off season and the videos will be a little bit more sporadic. apart from Show Us Your Cat, which will be every Sunday while people are still showing their cats, I'll be showing their cats to you. Then Spinnaker or Spinnaker boat stuff. We did how to replace your Spinnaker halyard. That is so valid without having to tip the boat over, because you don't always have a friend to help you. How to fit a Spinnaker to your boat. So if your boat doesn't have a Spinnaker system on it, what you would need to fit to put a Spinnaker on your boat. So I went through the entire shopping list of what you need to buy. You can get a lot of stuff from my or through my Amazon storefront. It means it's no more expensive for you. In fact, it means that I've done the hunting around to find the right bits. And then if you order it through my Amazon storefront, it means I get a small amount of commission without costing you anything. So that's nice for me, and it saves you a lot of looking around for the right stuff. So check that out. It's in the description below. The bowsprit and furler arrangement. That's if you're sailing a boat which has a furling jib and a bowsprit. We looked at the jib and downhaul takeaway systems, how to thread them. You can do this in most boats, but you can't do this in the Hobie 16, 18 Classic, 14. You probably can't do it in a Hobie Wave, Classic Hobie 13, shearwater, boats like that. We looked at main sheet cleating angles. Absolutely vital to know that the angle of your cleat is correct, because otherwise maybe you can't uncleat, or maybe you can't cleat. Two things which will take away from your pleasant sailing experience. We just had a quick look, although once again I'm going to say it, I am not a Hobie 14 expert. It just happens that we've got a Hobie 14 here and it's great fun to sail. But I went through some Hobie 14 tuning, what I've done to our boat here to get it so it feels nice. But with the 14, with everything, get your rudders right first. Otherwise, when you go out sailing, you won't know if it's the way the mast is set up or if it's your rudders. So fix the rudders first. It's all about fixing the rudders. Okay, then we went on to some more stuff. Are we having fun yet? I'm having fun. It's 8:48 in the morning here in Vasiliki Bay. It's looking like a nice day, blue sky. What's the date? 15th of October. In case you're wondering, we looked at how to straighten your bent mast. If you've got a bent mast, wouldn't you like it to be straight again? Check out the video. And we also looked at how to correctly tie in your battens. And there was more. Can you believe there was more? There was more. We did some trapezing videos. How to trapeze. Trapezing technique. This video featured one of the new guys on the team this year, Nick Swain from Felixstowe, UK, my hometown. He almost capsized us while we were filming that. So that's nice. How to choose a trapeze harness and how to put it on. And then a look at the adjustable on-the-fly trapeze system like you'd have on an F18 Tornado Hurricane 5.9. You can fit one to your 16 if you want to. Check out the video. Okay, then we went on to some really useful stuff. Not that anything so far wasn't useful, but there's useful stuff. The fundamentals of tacking. I think it's the one point that everybody who's new to catamaran sailing finds painful, difficult, frustrating perhaps, is tacking. So I like to think in the fundamentals of tacking video, as long as you follow the instructions, this should never be a problem ever again. As long as you follow the instructions. All you've got to do is follow the instructions and it need never be a problem again. So just watch the video, follow the instructions and go and tack your boat. We did the fundamentals of jibing as well, very important. The jibing is not because of a lack of success, it's more of there is danger involved if you jibe badly. Then we looked at specifically tacking the Hobie 14. If you can tack a Hobie 14, then you can really tack anything. The Hobie 14, especially if you're sailing without a jib, is possibly one of the most difficult boats to tack out there. If you can think of a boat that's more difficult to tack than a Hobie 14, put it in the comments below and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's difficult to tack. How to sail fast. Very important stuff. I've just filmed this morning another one. What was that called? Power control. So how to depower your boat, how to control the power on different points of sail. A lot of people are asking about that, so I thought I'd make a video about it. I didn't have the facility to go out on the water and demonstrate, but all you need to do is watch any of the videos where I've done the live commentary and there'll be some content there on power control. And then finally in this section, reefing the Hobie 16. It's actually my first time ever this year sailing a Hobie 16 with the mainsail reefed, and you can see the results and the how to do it if you just go through the videos from this year. We looked at absolutely solid gold video catamaran spinnaker technique. So this was a good one, even if you are a very, very, very experienced catamaran sailor and you've sailed with spinnakers since spinnakers existed, but you just had enough of having to tell your crew what to do. Get them to watch this video and this will do most of that work for you. It's a really good video, very nicely put together. I largely used the good old C2 on this video, which is really nice to showcase this amazing F18. We also looked at solo spinnaker technique using the FX1, of course. On to the next section. This was a new section. It's actually, there's a playlist on the channel called Seamanship Skills. We did backward sailing. How are you going to get into your marina berth if the wind is blowing straight on? Sailing backwards, you'll be fine. Then landing, coming into the beach or wherever you're coming into, firstly with an onshore wind. We did it again with a cross-shore wind. We didn't do it with an offshore wind because we don't have offshore wind very often here, so it wasn't actually possible. We looked at man overboard recovery. What to do if a man falls off. Not necessarily a man. Could be a woman, could be a dog, could be a goat. If you go sailing with your favourite goat, what do you do if that goat falls off? If the goat's not particularly good swimmer, the goat should be wearing a buoyancy aid or life jacket. Probably a life jacket. You can find goat life jackets in my Amazon storefront. Check that out. And then how to get back on the boat. A lot of people do struggle getting on to the catamaran if the water is deep. So I thought I'd have a look at that. And then last year, I did a lot of videos on capsize writing. And this year, just to absolutely give it some closure, I did a video about how to right your capsized boat using a bag. This was a revelation to me. Again, first time I ever tried it. And with the bag, it meant that I could bring up the Hobie 16 and the FX1 in zero wind. Absolutely no wind at all, but I could bring them up using the bag. So worth having a look at if you haven't looked at that just yet. Then we had a look at some fairly specific stuff to boats with Dagger Boards. The first one is how to deal with the deck sweeper. Our good old C2 that we have here, we've got a deck sweeper mainsail. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain now. Check out the video and you'll see there. We also looked at correct dagger board position. Essential, because otherwise, this brings us on to the next title, there was a video on don't snap your dagger boards. This actually followed someone snapping one of our dagger boards, which was quite a painful experience for me, because these dagger boards do come with quite a high price tag, and snapping a dagger board due to poor technique is unforgivable. So, you know, if you snap it because you hit an underwater obstruction, which you didn't know was there, then that is forgivable. But if it's just through poor technique, unforgivable. Okay, so we went on to some fairly random stuff. Josh, one of the guys from the team here, he's been working with Lumar, and he helped to develop the LFX anchor. So we did a review video of the LFX anchor from Lumar. She's a beauty. We did a video comparing different GPSs to see what the difference was between all the GPS devices I had to hand, which was 2 different types of GPS watch and a telephone running Strava. Very interesting. Check it out. Did some fairly random videos early on. What do I carry around in my toolbox during the setup period? What an insight that was. Did a video about tape. What tape to use for which applications on your boat. I did a video, this is a favourite, how to make and use the special salad dressing mast cleaning stuff. If you want to clean your mast, you're going to need some mast cleaner. This is biodegradable, so biodegradable in fact that if you've just knocked up a salad, you can use it on your salad as well. This was some good information. It did take me a while to put it together, but we looked at which type of rope to use for which applications on your boat, and how long they need to be. So a valuable resource for anybody with a catamaran. And then we finished off in this section with the knots that I use most frequently on catamarans around the boat park. So I think that was quite a good video. We looked at the bowline, the figure of 8, the lazy kiter, which is actually a name that I've come up with myself, the sheet bend, the double sheet bend, the reef knot, and so on. So you can check that out if you haven't seen that yet and you're into tying some knots. Okay, we continue with a guided tour of Wildwind. Yes, very nice. That was good. If you're thinking of coming out here, it's good to have a look around. If you are, another question that comes up is usually from a gentleman sailor. We used to have an award for that called the Gentleman Sailor Award. If a gentleman sailor is looking to come out on holiday, but he's worried that his significant other won't have as good a time as him because she doesn't like sailing, what do you do? Well, you're not going to believe it, but there are actually 2 companies that we're running here. One is Wildwind Sailing Holidays, which you might have heard of. The other one is actually called Healthy Options, which was set up especially for this purpose. What it is a number of activities for non-sailors to do, which makes them feel that they're probably even getting more out of being here than the sailors. Impossible? Who can say? But this is yoga, Pilates, fitness classes, massage. There's guided walks. There are guided bike rides. There are snorkeling trips. All sorts of good stuff for the non-sailor. If they come out, get involved, they might even see dolphins. More likely than the sailor seeing dolphins, because the sailor is too focused on the leeward bow of the boat just about to go under the water. So there we go. That is for the non-sailor. Okay, we then, at the start of June, I headed off to Italy to sail in the Tornado European Championships From that competition, I was doing some daily updates there. I also filmed one race which happened to be the worst race for us of the whole series, so keeping a brave face on was quite tricky at times. But I did a whole race on board with commentary, why we were making the decisions that we made and how we felt that was going at the time. Compare that to the onboard commentary from the Tornado Europeans last year, which was our best race. You might feel a slight difference in the mood on the boat. We looked at the jib and the Spinnaker systems from the different Tornadoes at the Europeans. Very interesting. We also looked at the main sheet systems as well from that competition. 20 different arrangements. Very nice. I got involved in some racing here. We did some light wind Hobie 16 solo racing. Probably one of the main events for me of the season is I went hosh to hosh, head to head with Josh Belbin, one of the instructors here, on FX1s in marginal conditions, but it was trapezing conditions on a short course. So we did the FX1 match race, which we had a head cam on both boats. Josh is very good with the commentary as well. And we went head to head. We took it on, and that was a great race. So you can watch that. Just head back into the archives on the channel and you'll find that there. That is well worth a watch if you've got, I don't know how long that one is, 25 minutes, something like that, but worth a watch. It is very entertaining and very interesting. I did a race in a mixed fleet in a fairly strong wind on the FX1. That was really good as well. Also, I made a video from our main event out here, which is the Ionian Regatta. This is the third Thursday in September every year, and you can check out the video. That was very nice as well. Of course, Joyrider TV, probably most famous for put on the head cam, out to the boat, jump on the boat and talk loudly while I'm sailing around the bay. These onboard videos, which have been great fun to make. So went on board a few different boats. We did the Dragoon, the Hobie 14, including some pretty juicy mast coming down action, how I dealt with that. The Hobie 15, first time here, Joyrider TV this year. The 16, several times. I love the 16. What can I say? The 16 solo. I did capsize more times this year than ever before because I was out there pushing the envelope for your entertainment. So if you haven't watched these videos, it's for your entertainment that I went swimming so many times once again. Last year it was deliberately to make capsize writing videos. This year it was unintentionally because I was sending it, I was giving it the beans, perhaps a bit too much. Hobie 16 solo, FX1 on board videos, and then the new arrival, the new kid on the block, the C2 from Goodall Designs, an F18 with a lot to give. Soon as I got hold of this boat, I could hardly put it down. Such a great boat. Very nice indeed. So those were the onboard videos that I was making there. And then finally, there's the videos which were part of a series. So of course we had the quick tips videos. We had every Friday a live update here from Wildwind. Very good. All of these featured the faulty telephone. Wow, we could even look at that. Will that be looking at itself? Wow, is that weird? Telephone looking at itself on the camera with the cracks there. I did say it most Fridays. If you do want to send me a telephone that is better than this one, please do. Just send me an email. I'll give you an address to send that to. That would be amazing. Anything at all, if it's better than the one that I've got. If you've got one just sat in a drawer not doing anything, that would be amazing. Then the new feature this year, which was an idea of Will in Hawaii, was show us your cat. This has been an absolute runaway train of a series of videos where people have been sending me pictures and video of their boats and where they sail them. I then featured them in a show us your cat video. Absolutely fantastic. And this is one feature that will keep going during the off season here, because I'm thinking that right now the Southern Hemisphere should be coming online to start getting out there, giving it the beans. Australia, South Africa, South America, New Zealand, everywhere else. All you guys, yeah, send me pictures of your boat. I'll feature them on Show Us Your Cat. Then, of course, as well, this started in September. We had the September Speed Stick competition, which was from here originally, but then we opened it up to the planet. So we now have the global Speed Stick competition as well, which is running throughout. It's been very popular. We've got 50 boats on the leaderboard at the moment, some of which putting in unbelievable speeds. Unbelievable. But doesn't matter if you go out and you don't even go what you feel is particularly quickly. If you haven't yet sent in a speed for the Speed Stick competition, then get out there, GPS on the boat, telephone in a dry bag, that'll do it. And then send me the results, and you'll get on the global leaderboard, and that is infamy forever and a day. Nice, you need that. Yeah, and then the final series that I started this year, and this didn't have a particularly high uptake. Only one video I made here was Ask the Community. This was if somebody asked me a question that I didn't feel particularly comfortable to answer, then I would put that question out there with a live video, and then people could answer the video in the comments, which I thought was quite valuable. But we only did one because I managed to answer most of the other questions myself. And the one that we did, in case you're wondering, was how do you avoid weed getting caught on your rudders? That is huge. Okay, so that was pretty much it for the season out here. The season is now closed. Let's take a look at how things are looking in the boat park. We've got these lasers, which Marco has been lovingly restoring to bring back to their former glory, ready to be picked up. They've all been sold. In fact, we have got 3 left. These are 2019 lasers in very, very good condition. Only been used for 5 months. We've got 3 boats left. The price is something like €4,000, including a trolley. And you get a brand new sail of your choosing, which size you want with that price. So if you want a laser, you'll have to come and pick it up from us here in Greece. If you are in mainland Europe, you can just jump on a ferry, come down to Greece, put it on the roof of your car, off you go. Very nice. Yeah, so the lasers are bagged up and everything's gone, as you can see. Oh, a new part of Show Us Your Cat was how do you get it there? This is how we get it there. This is, of course, quite a big trailer. We can take up to 8 catamarans on that trailer, which is very handy indeed. And now here we are. The boats have been stored, as you might have guessed. And here is our, I think it's quite a sorry looking fleet of boats now in storage for the winter. No yoga tent this year for the boats, unfortunately. So that is about the size of it. So finally, it just leaves me to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel, and whether it's been through Patreon, PayPal donations, if you've bought something from totaljoyrider.com, any other way, the guys who have actually come out here as a result of watching the videos on Joyrider TV, especially those who have travelled quite a large distance, like the guys coming from Australia or the USA or from Israel, from Egypt. All you guys, you know who you are, and you came here, you made the journey, and I like to think you had a good time. So a big thanks, massive thanks to everybody who's been watching the videos and who has subscribed, who's been supporting the channel. So thanks very much, and we'll charge forwards through the winter, and we'll be ready next year to be giving it the beans once again on Joyrider TV. So I'm just going to leave you with these heroes who've been supporting the channel. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Joyrider TV. onto the boat, but just be careful with your hook, the hook from your trapeze.